Hello everybody, Operator Tallara here, and welcome to Cycle 25 here in Citizen Sleeper. We're getting quite far into the game now, but as you can see, our list of drives or quests never ends. Let's take a minute to go through what we have on our quest list right now. We have Build a Home. There's a derelict unit in the low end that remains unclaimed. With lots of scrap and a little work, it could be hours. I gotta be honest, this is kind of low priority for me at this time because we're currently living up here in the in this new region that we unlocked, in the dorm that we have access to now that we're part of the Haifa commune. So building a home is low priority, but it's there. Next up we have disable our tracker, which is pretty important. Our guy Feng has said he will disable our tracker if he can get to the bottom of his mystery first, and we've been helping Feng chase his leads. However, right now we're just playing a waiting game. We have to wait for him to return to proceed any further in his quest line. So that's that one. Next, we have Ankita's cutter is out of commission. We need to help her get it running again. We need to help her find a ship mind. We have an imprinted ship mind. I don't know if we're going to be able to use this on Ankita's ship, so I've been kind of holding off on this one until we finished up with the Neovend quest line, so we'll see how that goes. Eshi and Peak need help gathering supplies for the refugee flotilla quarantined past the wastes, and so we need to bring some mushrooms to the Briar. We still need to also get mushrooms or girol caps to bring to Emphis. So we clearly need to get our thumb nice and green and get to growing some mushrooms and other caps. Speaking of, here's another quest, grow mushrooms. The aviary would be the perfect place to grow mushrooms, with some work that is. So we've literally got 3 quests about growing mushrooms and other things. Speaking of growing things, the botanist Rico wants us to help her understand the closed ecosystem of the Greenway, so we need to collect spores for Rico, which we can also grow. So you're starting to see a theme here of what we need to focus on today. And then last but certainly not least, we want to win a side rail ticket. Workers on the side rail crew get entered into a draw for the colony ship's live-in crew. That's one way off the eye and into a new life. So, with all that in mind, we will focus on some things today. I wanted to just take a look up and down the ship to see if any of the timers that we've been waiting on have finished up yet. Let's actually go down. Let's take the Founder's Ferry across the gap to the rim and just look over here before we get started as well. Aha! See? This is what I was hoping for. So one of the things we were waiting for, we can now access. This is Rabaya, the Yatagan lieutenant that we met. As we approach the address Rabaya gave you, a heavy hand falls on your shoulder. What's your business here? The enforcer grips your shoulder, giving a hint of the strength her implants give her. As you turn, you see the same subsidiary eyes as Rabaya and Toshiro, glinting like mirrors on her cheeks. Gia, please, the sleeper is here by my invitation. At Rabaya's command, the hand immediately loosens, and an apologetic look replaces the scowl on Gia's face. Of course, Rabaya, I'm sorry. Rabaya waves her away. Don't you worry, I appreciate your protective instincts. She smiles at the enforcer. How about you head to the tambour? They have a delivery coming, and they'll need some help with the lifting. Gia nods and walks away. So, Sleeper, you came. I'm glad. Well, what can I say? I was curious. Curious is good. She smiles a tight smile. You have to understand, finding you there in Sabine's unit, I wasn't sure where we stood. There are more than a few people on this station who would rather I was dead. I had to be sure you weren't one of them. I wish you no harm, as long as you don't wish me any harm. I'm glad. Rabaya begins walking and gestures for you to walk with her. She takes you down a staircase into the bustling walkways of the low end. What do you know about Yatagan? You're a gang? Gang, yes, that is what people call us, but what meaning does that word have in this place? People with carts push past, moving crates of supplies around the thin and winding passages. Our reputation is one that implies threat, is that fair to say? We are framed as aggressors, parasites, criminals. She gestures around at the people in the passageway. But when was the last time you saw a lawmaker on the eye? A policeman? Who makes the laws here? I mean, it's a good point. I guess technically Havanage thinks they do. Yes, they like to believe so, don't they? By claiming a lineage that extends back into Erland's Union, they assume the burden of authority. But they have no authority here, out past the Bright Market, where few work in their shipyard or pay for their docking berths. If you had spent your time in the Low End, maybe your opinion of us would be different. This is our place, our people. The Low End was empty in Erland's time. They didn't need to house thousands, and keeping the yards and the rotunda safe was work enough. No, the Low End was reclaimed later, when the refugees started arriving. Rabiah meets your eye. The collapse didn't just happen here, on this station. When Solheim collapsed, the entire system felt it. Colonies were abandoned. The moons of Ember and Cinder suddenly gained independence overnight. Some took advantage, some tried to hold it together, some fled. The Eye became a refuge, and Erland, to his credit, extended an open hand to everyone. But many within his organization disagreed, and those new arrivals weren't as simple to corral as they hoped. Rabiah leads you through a small market hall, busy with small stalls and traders. Erland's Union was made of workers, administrators, people who were malleable and already organized into hierarchies and networks. The refugees came from different factions and families, were scared, injured, desperate. Conflict was inevitable. Yatagan is a child of that conflict, a child born out of the need for us to stand up and claim our future, to provide security, strength. People call us a gang, but we are a community. I take my position as lieutenant seriously, and from my birth, I have worked to earn it. Rabiah catches herself before she raises her voice any further, and you both walk in silence for a while, among the smells and textures of the Low End. You start to wonder if this place could be a home for you too. So where do I come into this, Rabiah? Rabiah smiles to herself and thinks for a moment before she responds. I believe that you understand the importance of a refuge, so I also believe that you wish to help keep this place safe. For this reason, I would like you to trust me. I do not know what Sabine told you about us, but I imagine it was not good. I'll be honest with you, Sleeper. I was never comfortable with having Sabine as part of Yatagan. An ex-corporate employee? It goes against our nature. But their deal was with Yannick. I kept my distance, made sure Sabine had their surgery, kept it supplied. That was all. But I cannot allow people to go back on the promises they have made to us. Yatagan has not lasted this long because it is a charity. We offer and ask for support. Any betrayal will be treated as an attack. But Sabine was literally trapped. They were desperate. Many on the IR, Sleeper. I'm sorry, but we must ask that our debts are paid in full. Well, Sabine found something. Please, I don't want to hear their accusations. They only wanted to escape their debt. They would have said anything. But where are they now to stand behind their claims? I'll find them. As will we. You realize that Rabiah has led you in a loop, and together you both come back up a staircase to the walkway where you met. You are free to go, Sleeper. I've said what I wish to say. She looks out through the windows of the walkway. I would protect this place with my life, as it has protected me. I want to make that clear. She turns back. However, if you two wish to come under its protection, I can help you. Return here if you wish, and there will be tasks for you to complete. You'll be able to see Yatagan, to see the Low End, with your own eyes, not as others frame us. As for Sabine, she pauses to consider her words. I will not ask you to betray them, but if they contact you again, consider their motivations carefully. With that, Rabiah leaves, slipping back into her office, while you stare out at the countless units, each a home, each with a story, that make up the Low End. Alright, so that's a new drive discovered. Work for Rabiah. Rabiah wants you to be part of Yatagan. Could they help you settle on the Eye? So we need to spend time as a Yatagan enforcer. I'll be honest, I didn't really see that coming. I don't know if that's necessarily something I want to pursue, but regardless, we'll keep it in our back pocket. We're still waiting for Feng here, and obviously, as we just talked about, I'm waiting for Sabine to show themselves. Or maybe we'll have to go out and try to find them, but regardless, there's a couple of things I want to do today. I do want to work a couple of shifts up here at the side rail bridge. Our work as a junior tech has qualified us to work in the team handling the final tech fit-up of the Sidereal Horizons Bridge, a vast job. The colony ship is coming together block by block. Each cycle we see another piece slot into place. It's getting closer and closer to completion, and we're going to help out because hopefully the more we help out, the better chance we have of getting a ticket on this ship as well. So, We actually don't have many good dice rolls today, so I'm going to take the initiative and re-roll them with one of the perks that we have, which give us way better dice rolls. Alright, so let's start off with a 6, which gives us a 100% chance of a positive outcome. We spend the shift in a flow state, linking systems to systems like thread on a loom. Our mind is a diagram of cause and effect, and the best part about working here is we do get paid for it. So let's do one more shift. Nice. As you can see, we are very, very close to putting together that colony ship. We'll probably finish that off in the next cycle. For now, though, I want to save the rest of my dice to do a little bit of farming, if you will. As we already touched on, there is a ton of stuff for us to do. So we've got farm stacks here, where we can work the stacks to get money. We can steal the harvest to get energy. We can also barter for food. I'm a little bit hungry, and we do have lots of cryo, so I'm actually going to barter for food. We'll grab some. There we go. The farmers take the chits hesitantly and then pass you the food, which will full up our energy bar. Then over here, we can collect spores and forage for fungus. The fungus that grow in the deep groves of the Greenway are typically avoided, but those with sharp eyes might find useful fruiting bodies. It's a little bit dangerous, but luckily we've got another 6 we can use for a 100% chance of a positive outcome. And deep in the vent core we find the amber caps of girls. In this micro-ecosystem they are protected from other stranger growths, which is exactly what we need for our friend. Now, before we go, we've got another action we can take. It is risky. While the grove mushrooms are dangerously inconsistent, spores provide a chance to gather or study these species in an untouched form. Now, we've only got a 1, which will basically give us a 50-50 shot of making this happen. And we did make it happen. The mushrooms lead you deep into the rim, beyond sunlight, where moist dells glitter with strange growths. You barely make it back out. Uh-oh. Alright, let's try that again. Yes, alright, that worked. We find clumps of spores in a passage dripping with moisture. We gather them quickly, unable to identify their source. So, we got 1 spores and 1 caps. I don't know if there's a number of spores and caps. It just says collect spores for Rico, and then it just says bring Emphas Girl caps. So let's see if we have enough. Rico's asked for samples of spores from the deep groves of the Greenway. With them, she might better understand how this biosphere functions. So if we give her 1... Rico's grateful for the contribution. Sleeper, you warm my heart with each delivery. Thank you. So she needs 3. So we'll need to do that 2 more times. So we'll hold off for now. Let's see if the caps that we got are enough for our friend Emphas at this point. Here it is. Emphas's street food stall. No, and he wants 3 caps, of course. Alright. It's never as easy as you think it is, unfortunately. Well, while we're here, we may as well order some fungus. We did lose some energy scavenging for some of this stuff. So let's have a bite to eat. And then we can go back to the dorms and rest up for this cycle. All cycles need to end. Rest and prepare for the next one. All right. Another day, another cycle. Now, let's see if anything else is available for us. I think Feng should be back today, so let's go check in with him if we can. Yep, Feng. Feng grins at you as the bay door slides open. Above, in the rest of the building, people are busy, frightened. They speak in hushed tones and organize endless meeting after endless meeting. Havanaj have avoided a full-blown crisis for now, but change is coming. Feng is in good spirits and bundles you inside before you even have the chance to greet him. That was the slickest operation this station has seen, he hugs you firmly. You made my job easy. He shakes you by the shoulders. I'm so proud. And... he smiles. I got to watch through the cameras as the Havanaj security that weren't in on it assaulted the station. Feng smiled. One of them straight up just whacked Harden with their pistol. It was beautiful. So they have him? He's being held, yeah. I think the idea is to use him as leverage with Conway, get them to back off. Maybe they'll exile him when they're done, or hand him over to some core authority. Feng shrugs. Now I know he won't be an issue. I'm gonna be focusing on systems for a bit. He shakes his head, seeing as that's my actual job. He points to the ceiling. The people upstairs weren't so happy, though. They've been fielding questions about the state of the eye right and left since the recording got out. People are scared. I mean, I'm not surprised. Yeah, this whole thing hasn't won me many fans in the administration, but I think in the end they'll agree that outing Hardin was worth it, whatever the methods. He touches a stack of hardware. The eye is old, and it was never meant to run like this. The master control points that Erlin and Havanaj installed, they keep it spinning from the rim. That isn't ideal. But if you ask me if the eye will stop spinning next cycle, no. He smiles, and me and a ton of other skilled people will be working to stop it happening in the cycle after that. Hardin's problem was that he didn't believe in people. He believed in systems and their ability to shape the world around them. Feng squeezes your shoulder. But as far as I'm concerned, people should be the ones running the systems, not the other way around. Anyway, Feng raps on the side of this terminal. I know you didn't come down here for a lecture. Yeah, I mean, no offense, Feng, it's been nice helping you, but you promised a long time ago that you would help me with my tracker. I haven't forgotten. He produces a thumbnail drive. I managed to finish that code solution I showed you. It's a modified Ripper worm, one made to deactivate that tracker of yours. But in the time since I got back, I added something extra. That tracker of yours doesn't just show SNARP where you are. It transmits data about the state of your body, your current condition. My worm won't just deactivate it. It'll edit that data to tell SNARP your body is irreparably damaged. DNR, do not retrieve. He grins widely. Pretty smart, right? Yeah, that's perfect. Just slot it already. You take the drive and hold it in your hand. Then you close your eyes and open up your access ports. Take down your defenses. The worm immediately enters your closed network. It whips through it, taking things with it as it goes. The moment they're gone, you forget they were ever there. They just blink out of existence. A second later, it's done. You open your eyes. How do you feel? Asks Feng, a little nervously. Free. Feng smiles widely. Well, you are free, sleeper. He claps you on the shoulder. Feng lets the word free hang in the air a little before he continues. Seems like it might be finally time for a celebration. Feng wraps his arm around you. Jenna still owes us those drinks. He laughs and you join him. And later when you leave, you feel deeply thankful for having such a friend. As you walk away from the building, you look up at the wide curve of the eye, up at the hub and the other rim beyond it. The whole thing twinkles with lights, and it seems impossible to see it as anything other than breathtakingly beautiful. It feels, in that moment, like something eternal. That doesn't mean it can, or even should, last forever, or that it will never change, fade, or decay. It simply means that in this moment, this place has a future, and it is one that you know deeply and truly is worth protecting. Wow. Drive complete. SNARP no longer will be able to track us. Better yet, they're going to think that we're dead. And now we get an upgrade point. I think I'm going to hold on to it because for 2 upgrade points, we can get another perk, or for 3, we can add an additional modifier. So I'm going to hold off on it for now. But wow, it feels good to be free, that's for sure. Okay, so next up, seeing as we're on this side of the ship, I'm going to finish my shifts on the side reel here. We don't have a ton of good dice, 2s and 3s. I'm going to re-roll. Honestly, I probably shouldn't have re-rolled. I think it was worse. The re-roll is worse than it was originally. Oh well. Alright, we spent another shift, and I think the side reel horizon might be done. Your crew slowly filters out of the shipyard locker room, the bubbling chatter reducing with each group that leaves. There's excitement in the air. Havanaj just made an announcement. The assembly teams are done. Sat on the locker room bench, you can feel the side reel out there, its hulking mass now intimately familiar to you. Over the past cycles, you've watched it grow, be assembled. You've walked through its veins and welded its bones. Now, it's ready for the final stage. It will go to testing now, then enter a final process of sealing and resealing, checking and rechecking before it is deemed suitable for its generational trip. But for now, your work is done. You can't help but feel proud. A cough interrupts your thoughts. It's Lem, changing out of his work gear. Mina nowhere to be seen. He smiles. She'll be ready soon. Where's Mina, Lem? You two are fast friends, huh? She's being watched at home. Now I'm on the work team, I can afford a bit more help. He corrects himself. Was on the work team. I mean, we're all out of a job now. Quickly adds, not that I'm complaining. Lem comes to sit beside you on the bench. She's gotta be in her best shape when she carries you, Mina, and me out of here. So confident, Lem. Lem smiles apologetically. Why not? I figure I'm due a lucky turn by now. He rubs his hands nervously. No use in wondering what if until the draw anyway, and there's a few cycles till then. Lem is right, but the odds seem unlikely anyway. How many are working in the shipyard? Hundreds? 1,000? You've certainly seen more faces than you can count pass through. And are the Sealess Foundation even going to keep their promise? Out here on the Eye, you get the sense that no one will hold them to it. Why else would they be building the side rail in a surrogate system? As you think, Lem watches you with a worried look. Tell me about Sealess. The Foundation, he thinks? I'm not sure I know much more than you. I hear they have a planet in mind for the side reel, something temperate and habitable. I think they're run by some rich folk from the core, people interested in doing things different. And what is the core? Lem gives you a funny look. Yeah, the core. He smiles. I guess people don't talk much about it out here, but it's the center of everything, if you believe in that sort of thing. The star systems we are surrogate to. He shrugs. We work, so they don't have to. I'd rather keep my mind on the prize, so to speak. I don't much care what they are for or against, as long as they can help us get out of here. You ever been in a thunderstorm, Sleeper? A real big one? I don't remember, to be honest with you, Lem. Lem shoots you a worried look for a moment. It's something else. He smiles. The sound, the smell, the rain hammering down. The whole sky, stretched out and bruised, roaring and huge. The place I was born, New Pembroke, a dry old rock in a Conway system, had 2 seasons. One of them was as dry as bone, dusty, ugly. The other was one long storm, a side effect of the terraforming efforts, they said. Rain used to rattle off the roofs like bullets. It washed the dust away, turned the streets to rivers. It'd sing us to sleep and wake us in the morning. We'd wait half a year just to see it again. The best day was the one where the first drops fell. Some days I wake up swearing I can hear it again. I was thinking, Mina has never seen a storm, never even felt rain. She's grown up here, the ring her only horizon. Always in the dark. I want to change that for her. And you will, Lem. Course, almost there. Lem stands, stretching. Best get back to the little one anyway. With the shifts done, I reckon she'll be happy to have me home for a few cycles. He shoulders his gear. See you in a few for the draw? Yeah, I'll be there. Right on. He grins. Lem leaves, making you the last person in the cavernous locker room. As you sit, you think about rain, and a little hope creeps in. Is it possible? Could the sidereal really take you to a planet? A place with weather, with skies, with life? You get up quickly before you can think about it anymore. It's too soon to hope. Too dangerous. There's work to be done. Alright, so all we can do now is wait. Sealess are apparently going to start moving the sidereal horizon to the hub soon. And it looks like that'll happen in 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 cycles. And at that time, I guess we'll also learn the results of the lottery and if we're going to get a ticket on board. Oh, the sidereal draw is in 3 cycles, actually. Havanaj said it'll be a few cycles until the winners of the draw are announced. You'll have to come back then. Okay, so 3 cycles till the draw, and then 6 cycles till the ship leaves. So, again, all we can do at this point is sit and wait. Now, with the remainder of my actions, I think I'm gonna go back and try to harvest some more caps and fungus. So, let's go to the mushroom groves. We don't have great dice, so I have a feeling we'll probably lose a lot of energy here, but we'll give it a shot. Let's try collecting spores. Oh, there we go. We found clumps of spores. Good start, good start. We just need 1 more of those. Hey, 2 for 2, even though we only had 1s. That's fantastic. Okay, we're done with spore collection. Now let's try to forage for fungus. That worked too. Oh my goodness. All right. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but can we have A perfect day. Let's see. One more forage. Yes! Oh my goodness! That's crazy. Okay, unfortunately though, I didn't actually get any... Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Sorry, I got ahead of myself. I didn't think I got any Garol caps. Or no, I don't think I did, because I only had 2, didn't I? Yeah. So there, we found a hidden grove where clouds of spores fizz in the air. We feel energized as you inhale the glittering powder. So I didn't actually get any caps, but my energy was fully restored. So that's still a win. Alright, so now we should have enough, if we go back to the Haifa Labs, have enough spores for Rico. There we go. That should be enough, I think. Sleeper! Rico greets you without so much as looking up from her work. I have some of yours here. Come see. She beckons you over to a heavyweight-looking console, wired to a series of specimen jars, some of which contain your spores. What does it say? The spores you have here are a real cocktail, a selection of types from within the groves, but I've been able to isolate a few. She taps one of the specimen jars. Here we have Tricoloma matsutake. Rico breezes through the Latin and Japanese pronunciation as if it was nothing. A species Solheim somewhat modified for use on the station. She brings up a panel on her console showing a chemical composition, all gradiented bars and obtuse acronyms. This is the composition of the Solheim modified matsutake spores. What do you mean by modified? Yes, every species on the eye is a tweaked variant of Solheim's, of course, but that's not the point. Rico brings up another panel, identical in layout, but with wildly different colors and numbers. You see, this is what your matsutake spores look like. They aren't the same? That's the conclusion, yes. Rico glances at the specimen jar as if it might have something to add. They are fundamentally the same spores, but they carry different chemicals, different signals. She leans back and sighs. Solheim may have introduced their own tweaked versions in the beginning, but the groves have, and still are, affecting them. Affecting them how? It's hard to tell without samples of fully grown mushrooms. She meets your eye, and herein lies our problem. She moves to another desk where 2 trays sit side by side. The first contains nothing but plant mulch. The second you smell before you even look at it. The pungent aroma of the fruiting matsutake like rotting, sodden overalls, laced with an edge of spice. The matsutake here are grown from Solheim stalks, pulled from a spore vault in this complex. She winks. They're delicious, by the way. She sets him aside. The empty tray is germinated with the spores you collected. No activity, no germination, nothing. But the groves here are full. Yes, they are. Rico looks at you directly, and you suddenly realize how much she is enjoying this. So here's our puzzle, Sleeper. Spores from the groves won't grow in the lab. But gathering fruiting bodies from the groves is too unpredictable. We need to grow a fruiting body from some of these spores so we can track it, understand it. In short, I need you to become my mushroom farmer. Look, I'm guessing, an educated guess this is, that the closer these spores are to the groves, the better they will germinate. There's an old dome, the aviary, which sits directly above the groves' vent cores. With a bit of work, it'd make the perfect place to germinate the spores. Rico glances around at the meager lab with its improvised equipment. Look, I'd do it myself, but... She waves a crutch. My farming days are over. Bring me whatever grows, not just matsutake. There's more than a couple of variants in there, so I'll need plenty of samples. She plucks a matsutake cap from the tray. These little things are reflections of their conditions, their smell, their taste, their chemistry. It all derives from the conditions of their growth. She smells the cap. Enough of these, and we'll have a picture of what is happening here, of the ways in which this biosphere is modifying itself, or being modified, whichever the case may be. Rico pops the matsutake cap into her mouth, taking you by surprise. And don't worry, Sleeper, she says, while softly chewing. If this turns out to be a dead end, I'll make sure that not a single mushroom will go to waste. Okay, so we had already sort of had it on our to-do list to clear out the aviary, this overgrown garden here. Now we've just got another reason to do so. Unfortunately, we are out of action points for today, meaning we will have to go back to the Haifa dorms and rest, but it was another productive cycle. We're going to continue our green thumb activities next time, clearing out the aviary, hopefully getting enough caps for our friend, and before we know it, maybe we'll get a ticket on the sidereal horizon. Uh-oh. It looks like before we can go to sleep, we actually need to confront Ethan, that cynical bounty hunter. I no longer have my tracker, but he's still here, and I don't know how we're gonna deal with him. The compressor is almost empty when you enter. A couple of scattered patrons in the booths and a lone bartender. The bartender recognizes you immediately when you arrive and nods, and you return the greeting. But you know already that you won't find Ethan here, but you had to be sure. With your tracker reporting you dead, he wouldn't have stuck around. You look at the empty stool, his empty stool, and you smile. You can imagine him on it when his slate chirps, letting him know that the target he was tracking is dead. You can imagine the screaming and the swearing, too. Is that all you were to Ethan? Another target, or was there something else going on? It seems like a foolish question to ask now when he has fled the station, but it bothers you anyway. You take one last look and walk out. You doubt you'll ever come back to this place or the memories it holds. You walk back out into the lights of the bright market and allow yourself a smile. So, this is what Fang meant when he said you were free. You could get used to this. Oh, that's fantastic. So Ethan is gone, and that's a drive complete. We are free. We also got another upgrade point, which is fantastic. And now we can sleep easy tonight knowing that that cynical bounty hunter isn't still here causing us trouble. Alright, good night, sleep tight, and see you guys on the next cycle.